History is always written by the winner. The winner decides who was the villain and who was the victim. They decide who was the hero and who was the coward. But here's the real question: is what they say actually the truth? Today's movie perfectly represents that idea. Our story takes place in the city of Zootopia, a place that welcomes every kind of animal, except reptiles. But why reptiles? And what is the real story behind their disappearance? To find out the full truth, make sure you watch until the end. The story begins with the new mayor of Zootopia announcing a big celebration, marking 100 years since the invention of the climate walls. These walls made the city unique. They separated different climates inside the city itself, from extreme heat to areas completely covered in snow. All of this so every kind of animal could live there comfortably. Meanwhile, at the police station, Chief Bogo is briefing the officers about a new case. The case involves an inspector working at the harbor. Bogo starts assigning tasks to everyone, and he specifically tells Judy and Nick to stay back and just observe from a distance. But before he can even finish talking, they're already gone. They head straight to the harbor to catch the inspector themselves. They enter the port disguised, with a small child pretending to be with them, so they don't raise suspicion. Nick starts distracting the inspector, while Judy quietly moves to open one of the containers. But the inspector quickly realizes they're cops, and he makes a run for it. Of course, Judy isn't the type to give up. She grabs Nick, and they chase after him. During the pursuit, Judy sees the inspector crash into a pole and pass out. She hands the wheel to Nick and jumps onto the other vehicle, even though Nick tries to stop her. After a dangerous chase, Judy finally manages to stop the truck and arrests the inspector. But while searching the vehicle, she notices something strange moving inside. When she looks closer, she finds something shocking: reptile skin. Back at the police station, Chief Bogo is furious about what happened. He yells at them, saying they practically destroyed half the city during the chase. But Judy insists that she found reptile skin, even though reptiles supposedly haven't entered the city for 100 years. Bogo doesn't believe her. He tells them that the case is completely off limits for them, and then he gives them a final warning: if they cause one more problem, he will separate them for good. Back at the police station, we see all the officers making fun of them and mocking them. Judy turns to Nick and tells him that they really need to prove themselves, but Nick shrugs it off and tells her they don't need to prove anything to anyone. After that, they both head back to their homes. Later that night, Judy is watching the news, and she sees a huge celebration the mayor is holding to mark 100 years since the climate walls were built. While the news is showing footage from the event, Judy suddenly notices something strange. It's the same truck that had the reptile skin inside, so she starts digging online, trying to find any information she can. During her search, she finds a video from someone named Kondos talking about the history of Zootopia. He explains that reptiles haven't entered the city for the last 100 years. According to him, it all started with an old incident when a snake once bit a turtle, and the turtle died. After that, reptiles disappeared from Zootopia completely. But Kondos adds something even more mysterious. He says that one day, the snakes will come back, and when they do, their main target will be the book that contains the design of the climate walls. After hearing this, Judy immediately goes to Nick and tells him everything she discovered. She tells him that if they solve this case, Chief Bogo will never separate them again, and everyone will finally see that they make a great team. Nick agrees right away, so the two of them head straight to the celebration. Once they arrive, they spot the same truck again. When they get closer, they notice that one of its doors is open, so they disguise themselves and sneak into the party. Judy leaves Nick for a moment and heads toward the place where the book is kept. When she finally reaches it, she notices something strange about the cover. Instead of a normal title, it has a scientific equation on it. Judy looks confused. She can't understand why a snake would want something like that. At that moment, she meets Papertoe, a wildcat, the grandson of the inventor of the climate walls. Meanwhile, Nick suddenly notices Chief Bogo at the party. He quickly warns Judy and tells her they need to leave right now. But Judy doesn't listen. Suddenly, she notices a piece of snakeskin, so she starts following the trail. Eventually, she realizes the snake is hiding up in the ceiling, but at the same time, Bogo spots Nick and grabs him. Nick quickly kicks a spotlight with his foot, sending the beam of light toward the snake.
The snake takes the wildcat and the box containing the book.
Judy immediately runs after the snake while Nick and Bogo chase after them. The snake then uses a cat's eye to unlock the box. Just then, Judy rushes in and shouts, "Don't hurt him!" The snake looks at her calmly and says he doesn't want to hurt anyone. He insists that snakes have never harmed anyone before. According to him, the real villains are the wildcats, not the snakes. Then he points to the book and says, "This book will fix everything. It will bring my family back."
Judy is shaken by what he says, but Nick suddenly hits him on the head, knocking him unconscious. At that moment, the cats reveal their true nature and say they're going to kill the snake. Then they warn Nick and Judy to stay quiet and never talk about what happened, saying it would be better for them that way. But Judy throws pieces of firewood from the fireplace and flames begin spreading around the snake. Nick runs to open the window so they can escape, while Judy keeps holding the snake. Nick comes back to help, but suddenly the snake wakes up and accidentally hits Bujo, who walks in at that exact moment. Right behind him, the rest of the police officers rush into the room. The cats quickly claim that Nick and Judy were trying to kill Bujo, so Nick and Judy grab the snake and throw it out the window. A small car drives by and catches the snake, taking it away. At that moment, Judy grabs the book and Nick pushes her out the window. Then a large truck arrives and helps them escape. After that, we cut back to the mayor. He's sitting with the cats, who threaten him, saying he'll be removed from office if he doesn't capture the snake along with Nick and Judy. The mayor immediately orders the police to search for them and bring them to him as soon as possible. Then we return to Judy. Her phone starts ringing, but Nick quickly takes it from her and breaks it, telling her that someone could track the phone. Nick then tells Judy they should go meet Candace, someone who might be able to help them, and it turns out he's the same Candace who's always talking about reptiles. They head with the beaver to the swamp where the reptiles live. There, the beaver introduces them to a lizard who agrees to help them. Judy asks the lizard about the book and what it has to do with the snakes. The lizard explains that the secret isn't in the book itself. It's actually hidden in the cover, and according to her, the only one who truly knows that secret is the snake. She also tells Judy that all the reptiles left the city after the incident that happened in the past. While they're talking, the police suddenly arrive. The lizard quickly grabs them and they run away fast, eventually leading them to a small boat. Judy asks why she's helping them, and the lizard replies that they once saved the city before, and maybe they can save it again. Suddenly, the snake appears out of nowhere. He snatches the book from Judy and tells her he needs it to save his family. Then he runs away. Judy immediately chases after him, and Nick follows right behind her. Just before the police can catch them, the beaver steps in and helps them escape. He ends up getting arrested instead. Judy keeps chasing the snake. During the chase, she notices the bag the snake was carrying. When she opens it, she finds a matchbox with a yellow rose drawn on it. Soon after, they run into a group of mountain goats. Judy asks if they know how to reach the snake, mention the name of a strange city. Judy also notices they have the same yellow rose symbol, so she asks where they got it. The goats explain that they found it near the top of the mountain. When Judy asks if there's anything else up there, they tell her there's an old house where the snakes used to live. So Judy starts climbing the mountain. Nick still isn't happy about any of this, but he follows her anyway. As Judy keeps thinking about the secret the snake is chasing, Nick tells her they should slow down because he's exhausted. But Judy insists they need to move faster before the police catch up with them. Judy reaches the house first. When she walks inside, she finds snakeskins scattered everywhere. Then she discovers old photos of snakes and other reptiles. Just as Nick arrives behind her, he notices the police getting closer. Judy tells him all of this could be important evidence, and they need to collect it before leaving. But Nick argues that they should run now. He says he doesn't care about the case anymore. It's not worth dying for. Judy looks at him and says firmly, "The world will never become a better place if no one is willing to do the right thing." But Nick shakes his head and replies that the world will always stay the same, and being a hero isn't going to change that. Judy is shocked by what he says. She tells him that they clearly see the world very differently. At that exact moment, the police burst into the house and attack them. Judy runs for her life while the house begins to collapse. The police manage to capture Nick. Just before they can catch Judy too, Barbert and the snake show up and pull her away to save her. When Judy wakes up later, she finds herself with Barbert and the snake on a road in the middle of the desert. She immediately asks about Nick. Barbert tells her the police arrested him and that they're heading somewhere no one will ever be able to find them. Meanwhile, the wildcat starts interrogating Nick, demanding to know where Judy and the snake are. Nick refuses to say a word. The wildcat then tells him that he plans to drive all the reptiles out of the swamp and claim the land for the city. And when people hear that the reptiles helped the snake and Judy escape, no one will care what happens to them. Then he smirks and says Nick should have run when he had the chance. Then his daughter walks in and tells him they found a piece of fur and it must belong to the one who helped the snake and Judy escape. At that moment, he realizes it was Barbert. He tells her that they need to track the phone signal. Then we cut to Judy, who asks the snake what his name is, tells her his name is Jerry, hands her the book and says that everything will be solved soon and that Nick will save him too. He also asks her not to be afraid of him because he has the antidote to his own venom. Then he takes her to a place very far from the city. Judy asks them how they all know each other. Jerry explains that he sent a message to the Barbert family, asking them to look into the book. And that's when Barbert decided to help him. He says his only goal is to bring his family back home again, and that they will definitely save Nick as well. Judy looks sad, but Barbert reassures her. She tells Judy that they won't just save Nick, they'll save the entire city, stop her family, and reveal the truth to everyone. Jerry then takes the book and lights a fire next to it. The metal cover slowly begins to glow, and a full map appears. Barbert asks Judy what she knows about what happened in the past. Judy says that all she knows is that the reptiles were forced out of the city, and that there's a secret in the book's cover that only snakes can see. At that moment, Judy realizes something important. It wasn't Barbert's grandmother who invented the climate barriers. It was Jerry's grandmother. Barbert then explains the truth. Jerry's grandmother needed an investor to help fund her invention, so she went to Barbert's grandfather, but he betrayed her. He took the book, ripped up the original patent that belonged to her, and replaced it with a fake one under his own name. And that wasn't all. He falsely accused Jerry's grandmother, which led to all the reptiles being expelled from the city. Their city's electricity was cut off, leaving them isolated. He thought no one would ever discover what he did, but he was wrong. A turtle had the real patent all along. Before she died, she gave it back to Jerry's grandmother, who hid it inside her home. That's when Judy realizes what they need to do. They have to find Jerry's grandmother's house to recover the real patent. Jerry tells them that they didn't know where the house was until they found the book. Barbert points out a problem. The entire land is covered in snow, so finding the house won't be easy. Judy thinks for a moment and says there's a lighthouse in the center of the reptile city. Barbert replies that the electricity there has been cut off. Judy then suggests that they could restore the power. Since they now have the map from the book, they should be able to locate the city's power control unit. Meanwhile, Nick has arrived at the prison. He overhears the inmates saying that the government has discovered Judy's location, so he immediately tries to escape. Inside the prison, he runs into the beaver, who helps him break out. But by accident, they step on a button that opens all the prison doors. Suddenly, every prisoner starts escaping with them. Beaver tells Nick that if he wants to catch up with Judy, he'll need a professional driver. So Nick calls his friend Flash, the sloth, and the three of them speed off. But Nick still doesn't know Judy's exact location, so he calls their tiger friend, who works in the police department, and asks for help. The tiger tells him where she is. At the same time, Judy is extremely nervous. Jerry tries to calm her down and tells her that they will succeed. Suddenly, the police arrive behind them. The moment Judy sees them, she quickly smashes Barbert's phone. They rush into the underground tunnels, with the police chasing right behind them. They keep running until they reach the main wall, the place where the power control unit is located. At that moment, Barbert's father realizes what they're trying to do, so he orders the police to shoot tranquilizers at them. Just then, Nick suddenly arrives and blocks the tranquilizers. Jerry, Barbert, and Judy keep moving forward and finally reach the main control room. But Nick can't get inside because the door shuts on him. The heat starts rising, and at that moment, Judy finds the power switch. They flip it on together, and suddenly, the lighthouse lights up in the middle of the snow. That's when they finally discover the location of the reptile city. Through the cameras, Judy sees Nick trying to get inside, so she opens the door and he enters with the beaver. But suddenly, Barbert hits Judy with the snake's venom. Jerry tries to save her, but Barbert throws him far away into the snow and takes the antidote. He tells Judy that he finally got the chance to prove to his family that he's one of them. Judy tells him he can choose to be different from them, but he refuses and says he doesn't want to be different. Then he leaves her behind and walks away. Barbert also poisons the beaver, then heads toward Nick. Jerry refuses to give up. He slowly crawls his way back to Judy and uses the warmth of his body to protect her from the freezing cold. He tells her that his grandmother's dream was for Zootopia to be a place where all animals could live together. Judy loses consciousness, and the police arrive and arrest everyone there. At the same time, Babbitt reaches Nick and tries to poison him too. But Nick fights back because he wants to save Judy. Jerry sees the antidote through the camera, but it falls near the edge of the ice. Baba tries to convince Nick that it's not worth dying for, but Nick keeps pushing until he reaches the antidote and throws it to Jerry. The ice breaks, but Jerry manages to grab the antidote and give it to Judy. Then the two of them run together to save Nick. After that, Jerry also saves the beaver using the antidote. Nick tells Judy that their differences don't matter to him. The only thing that matters is that they're together. He admits he should have said that from the beginning and that she's the best thing that ever happened to him. He says he'll never let anything hurt her. Judy tells him she's sorry too for saying they were different and that she should have listened to him. She tells him he's the best partner she could ever have. Meanwhile, they see Babbitt trying to escape. Judy says they have to reach the house before he does so they can get the patent. Babbitt arrives at the house and finds his father extremely angry at him. He tells him that he was only pretending the whole time and that from the beginning he was actually helping them. Now he says he knows where the patent is and that he can burn it. It turns out the mayor was there the whole time listening to everything. Babbitt's father warns him that if he wants to keep his job, he'd better stay quiet about what he heard. Babbitt's father orders him to bring the paper immediately. But at that moment, Nick, Judy, Jerry, and the beaver arrive. Babbitt tries to reach it before them, but they chase after him. Finally, the mayor's conscience kicks in, and he decides to help them. Nick and Judy manage to catch Babbitt, and Jerry and the beaver arrive to help tie him up before they continue on their way. They finally enter the reptile city, and Jerry returns to his home after 100 years of exile. He walks inside with Judy, Nick, and the beaver, looking around at all the memories of his house. Then he opens his grandmother's chest and finally finds the patent. But Babbitt still refuses to give up and tries to burn the place down. Luckily, the police arrive just in time and arrest him. After that, all the cats are arrested and the truth is finally revealed to everyone. Reptiles finally return to the city of Zootopia and everyone goes to visit Bogo at the hospital. Nick and Judy are honored for their courage and everything they did. Jerry reopens the reptile city after 100 years of exile and his dream finally comes true as his family returns home. He thanks Judy for helping them. And that's the end of today's story. Let us know what you think in the comments. We really care about your opinion. Also, tell us what you'd like to see next. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Peace.